sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body.
Welcome to the highlight of my year. The reason I keep going. There is so much anticipation for these videos that I have been writing this effectively since January. There are 20 movies I wanted to put in here. It was an exceptional year for film, but was there any film that was a solid 10 out of 10? I'm still questioning that myself. This is a year that had Justice League, A Dog's Purpose, and the Emoji Movie. I will not be talking about any of these films. I know a top 10 worst movies would be creatively more funny and cynical, but I wouldn't know, because I didn't see them. The theme of 2017 was optimism. I didn't have the time for bad movies, so I didn't see them. It's actually very easy. Instead, let's cut the shit and fill the space with films that deserve loving. Honourable mentions! Dunkirk was a kind of pandering and hollow movie, actually. Christopher Nolan's movies always leave me cold. Loud noises and horrible imagery is not enough to sustain a war film. I don't think that justifies the terrifying, awful content. I need character. I need humanity, and I would argue that Dunkirk has none of that. Also, it's obviously Nigel Farage's favourite film. That is a factor. Instead, I found myself getting profoundly patriotic with Their Finest, the story of a bunch of British screenwriters creating a propaganda film. It's a fairly light film, it's far away from the trenches, and there's no "the boys have come home" moment, but there's this one scene which makes me more proud of Queen and Country than any Dunkirk scene could. Once the bomb starts, everyone goes down for shelter and they sing a song to get through it. It's beautiful, it's quaint, Bill Nye is there. And it just made me realise I don't need body bags and Saving Private Ryan. I just need people being people. In a year where I was given no reason to love my country, that's what I love my country for. Next, Blade of the Immortal. Blade of the Immortal is the 100th release by director Takashi Miike. If you're unfamiliar, Miike is known for his colourful, almost Power Rangers-esque samurai movies. There's not a hint of historical realism. Instead, this plays out like a video game. Instead of a conventional plot, Blade of the Immortal has micro-villains. If nothing else, watch this film for a series of striking, amazing villains. Back-to-back imaginative ideas. It is the best, most gory episode of Power Rangers you've ever seen. I counted, and 12 limbs are cut off across this 2-hour film. The Big Sick. A kind of underdog approach to a very overdone story beat. Culture clash! Except, unlike those films, this actually handles sensitive cultural issues delicately and respectfully. Different households and cultures have their own customs, children are products of their upbringing and environments, and there's different ways of showing love. Yes, but predominantly, this is a film about vulnerability. Everyone's vulnerable. He's vulnerable, she's very vulnerable, she's in a coma. It's a film that made me realise that adults are just the same as us. They're all just in the same boat, trying to get by and winging it. The authority of being the man of the house means absolutely nothing in a hospital waiting room, an environment where everyone is reduced to unempowered, scared equals. At its core, this film resonated with me because it's a heavy drama with cute comedy fonts. Yes, it's a film about culture shock, but on top of that, it's a film about adulthood. It's a film about using comedy as a defense mechanism. And to see that being put onto screen for all to see is brutal. It's got a happy ending though! Oh shit, no, that's a spoiler. No, forget I said that. Detroit! Detroit is so fucking intense, it'll make your white skin cruel. And lastly, Yukio, The Dark Side of Dimensions. Look, let me have my one weird pick. 2017 came with saying goodbye to more childhood icons. Except, this is an old school Yukio. This is the Fast and the Furious Yukio. This is Yukio with a ridiculousness amped up to 11,000 life points. I bought this on Blu-ray instantly, over many better films. A purchase I am still trying to justify. But I did not bank on it being probably the funniest comedy of 2017. Yeah, what? The English dub was always funny. It always added bad jokes and a sort of personality that wasn't there in the original version. Guys, I think the English dub has returned and become sentient. It's self-aware now.
wrong. There are no limits when you're as brilliant as Seto Kaiba.
Yukio has become Yukio Abridged. And that's exactly this. This was a film made for a very specific fandom. In this one little send-off, they have embraced the show's colourful, unique, silly style. And they've upped it. Everything is exaggerated. And watching this in an audience of similarly aged people, all on the same page, was amazing. A man creates a space time travel machine with money so he can go back to ancient Egypt to battle a pharaoh at a children's card game. You can't make this shit up! We didn't know whether to laugh at it or laugh with it, and it was perfect that way. Well. Oh yeah, I still gotta do the fucking list. We're 5 minutes in, Sam. I'm sorry, I just love movies. Number 10. The Florida Project is a movie about poverty. On the outskirts of Disney World, on one of the world's biggest tourist traps, are motels with real struggling families. What I want to know is a 6-year-old girl legible for an Oscar? Yeah, you've got Willem Dafoe and the gorgeous commercial wasteland, but it all depends on this young girl. I own shoes older than actress Brooklyn Prince, and yet she could have had me in tears right alongside her at any point. Childhood is about making your own fun. Now imagine if Disney World is your back garden. Living in a tourist trap that worships and promotes this place like a religion. For a little girl, that's a big deal. This film's a hard watch. You're probably gonna come out of it angry. But the final shot, the final minutes, this film could have had me bawling in tears. Don't show me a kid crying. Do not show me that. But at the exact second before I was in tears, the movie does something so beautiful and it delivers a perfect ending. I felt used. My emotions feel manipulated. Number 9. Franchise cinema is only sustainable if it keeps reinventing itself. Yes, Episode 8 was a film about subversion, but never for the sake of it. Ever since Disney bought Star Wars, it's become this grand narrative.
It's our most ancient story of good against evil.
Suddenly, Star Wars was a saga. And it was never that deep. I think the fandom and the promotion have bought into the mythos so hard that they have failed to realise that Star Wars is creatively stagnant. There is very little you can do in this universe. We don't know anything about it other than space wizards and Death Stars. Meaning, mix up or die. Not everything in this movie is perfect, but at the same time, I don't want it to be. I love that it took chances. I love that it's expanding what we can do with mainstream blockbuster cinema. I love that it feels like a director's film over an installment in a trilogy. Someone actually added something new to Star Wars. And that's okay. Even the stuff that doesn't work, I'm grateful for. Because whether it's the good or the bad, it's all new. Do we need an extended scene where Luke milks an alien? No, but I would take that over regurgitated shit any day. And wait a minute, what's this?
I think they're going to try something new. My theory is that Rey is not Skywalker. Rey is a nobody.
Motherfucking called it! Hashtag your Star Wars theory sucks. That should be the subheading for this movie. Star Wars Episode 8, your fan theory sucks. When they dropped that bomb in the cinema screen, I was not quiet about it. Not quiet at all. Oh yeah, it also is the best fight in all Star Wars history. Boom, got him. The less said about the fanbase, the better. I'm writing an entire fucking dissertation on this shit. Okay, let's get more succinct. 8.
Kiss my Russian ass.
One big Monty Python sketch about one of the darkest eras of human history. Yeah, this film's gutsy. This comedy is black as night. You can't make a comedy about Stalin's Russia, the critics cried. You wouldn't make a comedy about Hitler? Oh no, wait. You can't make Kim Jong-un jokes? Oh crap, no. Get the right man, and the darkest period of human history is perfect for comedy. Especially when Death of Stalin plays with the truth, like Stalin did himself. This film works because it's not about the petty lists. It's not about the gulags. It's about political inaptitude. self-serving egomaniacs labeling anyone who disagrees as the enemy. And if we can't laugh at these politicians in 2017, then yeah, comedy is dead. Number 7, superhero time! I'm only going to limit this to one. I like only picking one superhero movie because otherwise it dominates the list. And Justice League aside, there wasn't one bad film this year. Lego Batman had Daleks in it. Wonder Woman made a genre-defining moment that we will all look back on, carving a hit out of nothing but actual heroism and likeable characters. Guardians 2 opened with a dancing tree to Mr. Blue Sky, and ended with an existential space raccoon thinking about his own funeral. I loved this movie, but I think my favourite was SpiderMan Homecoming. SpiderMan Homecoming was everything it needed to be. To the exact note. Small, funny, humble, and contained. In just one film, Marvel Studios have nailed everything that makes Peter Parker Spider-Man. Was it really that difficult? The fact that a Brit my age is so talented and lovable and has burst into Hollywood alongside the Avengers gives me joy. But even more so, Homecoming expanded on the city-level antics of the MCU. I wanted to see for years how the everyman reacts to Tony Stark and the Super Friends. Apparently, not well. I feel like Homecoming is getting overlooked by many. It almost got left off this list, despite being a pitch-perfect outing. This isn't because it's average. It's because for once, Spidey was kept to scale, with its feet on the ground. This film played its part perfectly. Also, I saw it for my birthday and the seats moved! Whoa! Number 6, Raw. Shivers. This film is nothing but shivers. A beautiful soundtrack, presenting a world like ours, but shrouded in weird mysteries and mean-spirited characters. Something is off. This film is unfamiliar and constantly engaging. This is one of the most shocking films to come out in recent years, and I didn't even notice. I adore it. How this is anyone's first directorial debut is staggering, and for both Decorona and me, hugely exciting. There's this one scene, just this one scene. My jaw fucking dropped. That is cinema, right there. Number 5, La La Land. Look, Damien Chazelle is one of the most exciting and promising directors alive today. But damn, am I conflicted over this film. Don't rewatch La La Land. Don't rewatch it. It gets dampened every time you re-see it. But all I do know is I have a huge smile on my face throughout. But Sam, it's a fucking musical that forgets it's a musical halfway through. Yeah, but that choreography though. But Sam, this film was verging on a Woody Allen level of white. Have you seen the cinematography though? The soundtrack has like 3 songs that it just loops. One of them is Ryan Gosling singing. Ryan Gosling is not a singer. Yeah, but Emma Stone just did a silly funny face, so... Yeah, La La Land can be a frustrating watch, but it makes cinema exciting again. Nobody stopped talking about this film. Did it deserve the Oscar? Probably more than Moonlight. Hashtag stay woke. This is a film where a white hero saves jazz, characters reek of privilege, and it oversimplifies their respective industries. But the ending is so beautiful that I'm willing to overlook all of that. Number 4. Chapter 2. This film was fucking dope! And this is coming from a guy who didn't understand the appeal of the first one. Once you get past dog death with me, it's just man with a gun. I've seen it before. Revenge narratives and dog death just don't really do it for me. But the second, with the sequel, it just clicked. Like Adam Sandler level clicked. I am on the hype train and I know what I was missing. The revenge is over and now we just have the world's most powerful man, vulnerable. Every scene in this film oozes coolness, with enough subtlety and enough bruises to not be, expendables. Every action set piece feels like the finale of a lesser film, and the journey into John's head takes center stage, rather than the bullets he shoots. A lot more depth, a lot more bullets, and a lot less dog death. Don't kill the fucking dog! Number 3. This one was tricky. Stephen King was everywhere this year. I think there were upwards of 5 different adaptations, from TV to screen to movies. To the flicks. Specifically, the Netflix. Geralds Game is a perfectly executed film. This Stephen King book was said to be unfilmable. A feature film of a woman handcuffed to a bed. But also about so much more. It's not a soul watch, and it's not an easy watch, but maybe this film shouldn't be. Perhaps a film about sexual oppression and rape couldn't come at a better time. The male monsters in this film, and apparently Hollywood at large, have a common darker nature to them. It's an everyday kind of evil that imprisons girls and oppresses women alike. Why do women struggle when coming forward? You're asking the wrong question. And that's what this film is about. Welcome back to the 2017 Samuel Davis Oscars. Yes, that's correct. They've actually given it to me now. Best performance in movies 2017. It was very nice of the board to let me host this. The nominees are Jason Sudeikis, going full fucking crazy in Colossal. Sam Claflin for Their Finest. Sam, you can't just put the hot actors in there. Yes, I can, and I will. Brooklyn Prince in The Florida Project. You know what? Can we get Hugh an Oscar? Can we get that huge jacked man a goddamn Oscar, please? And the winner goes to every single actor and actress in Gerald's Game? Huh. Congratulations, come on down. I don't even get how this works. I think we've just violated like 5 rules. Everyone in this movie is fucking perfect. Pitch Perfect. 3, The Bellas Are Back. Number 2, Pitch Perfect 3. And number 1, the best film I've seen this year, is Pitch Perfect 3, The Bellas Are Back. We're back, pitches. Oh yeah, Gerald's Game. This film could have been the best film of the year if it wasn't for the final scene, which kinda completely drops the ball and throws away the powerful subtlety to make a pretty goofy statement. But then, again, maybe in 2017, this issue needs to be more than subtext. Either way, it's on Netflix. You need to watch Gerald's Game. It's even got a dog! A bad boy. And then there's It. Then there's Scary Clown Movie. I cannot get this film out of my head. I'm trying to work it out what it is that has left a lasting impression with me. Because it certainly wasn't the fucking jump scares. I think it's just a film with a likeable cast of swearing real kids. It's an imaginative and twisted movie, with just enough imagery to make Pennywise surreal. You want to know what he is. I swear to God, they better put the fucking space turtle in the sequel. It's a horror film where you actually give a shit. Because the characters are so likeable, it's a movie that has actual stakes for once. That's pretty rare for horror films in this time period. I think I'm having to accept this is just how horror films are made now. But to be fair, you do have to filter Stephen King. You have to take out what works cinematically, whilst cutting the 500 pages of coke rambling and child orgies. I think I prefer Tim Curry's take on the dancing clown a little bit more.
Hello, pretty boy.
But even that's interesting. Back in the 90s, and even when the book was released, the image of a clown in an environment it shouldn't be in was the other. That was what made it scary. But in modern day, 2017 Pennywise is scary because now people have a phobia of clowns. Probably from the TV movie. It's a tie. These films are just as good as one another. Just for different reasons. Number 2. So when I said SpiderMan Homecoming was the best superhero movie of the year, I wasn't wrong. To me, in my heart, this isn't a superhero film. It's a western. It's a road trip movie. It's a film. It's a movie first and a genre film second. All year, this was my number 1. And you know why? Because I like my heroes to bleed. I hurt myself today. Logan is so much more than an X-Men movie. It's a western, it's loss, it's aging, it's lineage. It's true real-world heroism. It's father figures, bone claws, a terminal disease. It's being the last of your kind in a world that outgrown you. There is nothing I don't love about this departure from the norm. Let's expand the genre, because like Wolverine himself, the superhero genre has to mature or die out. And this film where a young girl gets stabbed by a harpoon, is as nuanced, human, and masterful as it gets. Put it in black and white, whatever. Logan Noir. Actually, fuck it, put it back in colour. This film's colour grade is gorgeous, and I can turn down the colour on my TV using the TV remote control. I don't need a special disc for that. I could make Spider-Man 3 noir. Space Jam noir. Emoji Movie noir. This film is deceptively simple, with genius in every single one of its lines. Logan gets to earn a hero's death, and becomes the hero his daughter thinks he is. This is my Dark Knight, and Hugh Jackman deserves a bloody fucking Oscar. Number 1. The credit shot of Baby Driver is a skyscraper that looks like an open road. I hope you're ready for layers upon layers of clever shit like that, because it's in every single frame from title to credits. This film comes with the Edgar Wright gold standard, and the movie underneath? Yeah, pretty great. A film with glorious action scenes, pitch-perfect character interactions, and good people in bad situations. This is a film that has even, maybe not hate Ansel Elgort and his strange pigeon face, because the character is so fucking likeable. Sorry, Fault in Our Stars, you have a fucking pigeon face. I came out of Baby Driver suitably pumped. Like a nice, medium level of pumped. It was no hot fuzz, but it was pretty great. I'll buy it on Blu-ray, but it's not the sort of film I'd get addicted to. Oh, Sam, the devil's in the fucking detail. I think I've seen this about 10 times already, and I get more out of it every time. If Baby Driver doesn't elicit at least one moment of audible glee, then I'm sorry to break this to you. You're a robot. You're a fucking robot, dude. And you deserve your Fast and Furious 10. One last ride. I'm gonna try and keep it short because we're already in the 20-minute mark. But this is the best action sequence I've ever seen. Yeah, the best action sequence in this car movie involves no cars. And it's still the best scene in cinema this year. And done! Fuck, we went over time! Thank you if you got to the end. Not many people seem to, and that's fine, but I wouldn't miss doing these vids for the world. May 2018 bring beautiful movies. And Han Solo, a Star Wars story.